Hi everyone, I hope everyone is having a beautiful and wonderful month. I can't wait for this next upcoming month, July. I hope everyone is having a good time. I hope everyone is eating well. Hope all of you are drinking your water, your vitamins, just living a good, happy, healthy life. Or whatever is healthy for you. Healthy could be anything. So I'm back. To be quite honest with you guys, or to you gals and pals, I have done a review of this show, of Bridgerton, season 3, like a week ago, but I ended up not doing it because something occurred, so I couldn't post it. And second, I ended up stumbling on this specific YouTube person's channel talking about Bridgerton, and I realized some topics that I didn't touch on that she touched on, and I would like to discuss it. So that's why I wasn't able to post it. So I'm late on this, but hopefully I'm not too late. But better late than never, right? So I'll be talking about. I feel like this video is gonna be mostly about Bridgerton. So I think on my next video I will be talking about Sex and the City, because I'm also speaking on that. I really love that show. I've been watching that. I'm currently on season 4, but I didn't talk about season 2's ending and season 3. So I will touch on that on an upcoming video. But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and if you're still here listening, thank you so much. And okay, let's go ahead and talk about it. So there was so many things she touched on, and I will be honest with you. I did not know. Probably I'm the dumb one. But I did not know that Bridgerton was based off a series of books, like book series. I think that's how you say it. But I didn't know that. So I'm basing all of my comments off of the show, and I will be touching on some things that this YouTuber touched on. When I first saw this video that this person posted, I did get defensive on it, because I really love the couple, Colin and Penelope. I can't even talk, so sorry. But I got very defensive, and I have discovered a new fond love of Nicola Cogan, and I just love her so much. And I think I did mention it in another video, or probably from the video I just deleted that I didn't post. So I have a big love for her. She's just so amazing. But I got very defensive because I'm biased like that. So I was like very defensive, and I went back on it because there were so many things I wanted to contradict this YouTuber. But then I went back on it the second time to watch it, and I was still, not gonna lie, defensive. But there were some points that she did touch on that it was kind of like, I mean, you have a point there. And then she has a greater point on it because she read the book. I have not read the book. I don't know if I want to read the books or just watch the show. But I think I will at some point read the books. But for now, let's just talk on what points she touched and what I thought was true. Well, made sense to me. Okay? So we're gonna start from the beginning, which is Colin and Penelope's friendship. Wasn't spoken as much or even shown as much. That's what she touched on. So, I don't think it was for me myself, since I just a reminder, I didn't read the book. I have not read the books, so I'm basing it off on the show. So I feel like their friendship shouldn't have to be shown. I mean, I do understand. For example, on season 2, Anthony, they showed why Anthony became the way he is because of his father's death. And so he had trauma, and so there was just something about it there. And they did show why he became that way, and they showed like what happened. And I don't think they should have done the same for Penelope and Colin, because in the first season, you could see that she was into him, and the friendship wasn't as bad. You do see a bit of their friendship, but then if you think about it, once in the old times, once they're older, there's still a friendship, but it's still not seen as appropriate. I don't know why. I'm not from that time, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't seen as appropriate. Not appropriate, but it was seen more like she is a woman and he is a man. What could be there? Maybe they have feelings for each other. Things like that. But I feel like I think their friendship was shown still either way throughout the first season to the third season. That's what I think. And then I believe she touched on the topic that they were chaperoned throughout the time they were having a conversation. Well, I mean, it makes sense because, like I mentioned before, it was in the old times. It wasn't seen as appropriate for a man and a woman to be alone. It was very scandalous. It was very, what is going on here? This shouldn't be happening. You should be having someone to be there chaperoning, because you guys are not married. You are, a male and a female. What could happen between these two? Obviously, sexual tensions rises and all those other things. But these are outside spectators' opinions. But within themselves, they knew that they weren't into that they weren't in that situation. So that's why they were chaperoned most of the times. And then the traveling, and then in season 3 he comes back different, right? Okay, so I don't remember much, but I feel like it was a good thing that he came different, because I feel like he has a more he has become more different. I just don't know how to explain that one. I think it's just because I don't know if it was on season 2 that he went to look for I forgot what her name is, but she tried to trick Colin into marrying her, and saying that the baby that she was about to have is his, when in reality it wasn't. I feel like he grew more. I guess, I don't know, I can't really explain that one, but I just think it makes sense to come back a different person. And I think the costume changes for his character was really good, because they're trying to show that he's a different person now. He's this person that just doesn't really, isn't the same person anymore. He changed. He's just someone new. And I think that's a good thing, because I feel like if he stayed as his awkward self, I don't think, like in his old costume, I don't think there would be any, anything to be looking forward. I don't know. I just don't think I don't think there was anything wrong with his costumes. I think his costumes were really great, and it really did give like a different man now. It gave him like a man appearance. His other costumes gave him like a more shy, this type of gave insecure. It also gave like boy-like, and if he was going to be like this in the third season, I don't think you would have gotten that same feeling with the costumes that he had on. Be on the second and first season. On the third season, you see him more man-like, more like a more masculine side of him. And I understand someone might say, but Penelope would have loved him as a boy-like character or something like that. But I still think it wouldn't be much. I don't know. I think the costume changes for his character was a good one, and it's seriously a major upgrade. Major upgrade. And then the raunchiness, the cramming of the raunchiness, as she mentioned in her video. I don't know. I was only there for the plot. I don't know. I guess some people were there for most of the raunchiness stuff, but that's a different situation. Another one that was pretty interesting that this YouTuber mentioned was that Penelope was wearing an outfit that was too much. It was overbearing for her. That wasn't necessary. I beg to differ on that one. I think that was a good color. Me, in my perspective, I think green was a big fit, a big one for Penelope. I think that was a good color to make us believe that was her big change, that was her glow up. I believe so, because green is a really good color for someone. I don't know, I guess because in color theory green is a more like out there, right? But I really believe 100% that it's half of what another color could do. Like, let's say red. I know someone's gonna say, yeah, typical red, but hear me out. Honestly, red is way overbearing. It's way overbearing, and I don't think she would have handled a color red. A color green was a much better suit for her, because she wasn't fully overbearing, but she was overbearing to herself, because that's a bold color. And I think an even bolder color would have been red or a purple, because it's just too bold. It's much more seductress type, and green is more like popping out in your face. So as I was saying, I think green was a good color for sure, because if it would have been any bolder, I think it would not be her. I think it would be too much for her. So yeah, that's my way of seeing it. But I think that would have been a safer choice, because any bolder color would have been too much for her. And she, as you saw on the as you saw later on when she was speaking to the men at the court, she seemed pretty awkward when she spoke, and she just said things that wasn't really ideal in that situation, showing that she's pretty awkward. So she's still trying to, do something about it, but she's trying, she's putting in the effort. But I think that was the safest choice. In my opinion, that was the safest choice, because if she would have went with a softer color, it still wouldn't be bold, because she when she arrived at the boutique, she asked for something different. She asked for something bolder, something different. And I think in that way, that was a good choice to do, a good choice for her, my bad, to choose, because any like I said, red or purple would have been too overbearing. I don't think it would have went so well, because color theory, when you're doing bold colors, you're doing like a statement, and if it would have been other than green, I don't think it would have been too much for her. I don't think she would have carried that out. And yeah, I just think it wouldn't have been a safe bet for her. I mean, I feel like maybe she could have pulled it off, but then at the same time, if we're being realistic here, it wouldn't have worked out for sure. Another thing that I thought was crazy, the YouTuber compared most of the outfits, the costumes, as Disney's. I feel like some of them didn't look like Disney. I don't know. Too much Disney? I don't know. I do understand Cressida's costumes. I feel like the costume of hers was exaggerated, but I think it's because, in a way, the outfits expressed how desperate she wanted a suitor, how desperate she wanted to get married, how desperate she wanted to get out of her situation. That's how I felt her outfits, her garments to be. They were big, they were loud, they were attention seekers, right? They needed your attention to gravitate towards her so she could get married and so you could help her out. I felt that's what her garments, her costume was trying to say. I don't think it was more like, oh, Disney, but it was more like, trying to grab somebody's attention so they could marry her. That's how I took it. But again, everyone's opinions are super different. But I digress. And then there's this thing about I wanted to touch on the costumes that were overly done with flowers. I thought they were pretty good. I mean, I love flowers. I love flowers a lot. So I guess my comment there wouldn't really matter as much because I really love flowers. So I think it was too little. I don't think it was overly done. I compare this to, if you've seen The Great Gatsby, the new version of it, the one with Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio, when he's putting flowers and building a garden, and he has flower arrangements inside Nick's house. I am basing it off of that. I don't think it was like that overly done flowers. I think it was a little half of that, but I just don't think it would. It's the same. But yeah, I think there was a good amount of flowers. I don't think there was anything wrong with that. But what else was there that this YouTuber mentioned? Eloise's costumes. Honestly, I did understand that part. The contradiction that she did. So she was not conforming to society, but at the same time, her costume said otherwise. I understand that part completely, because even I was sort of like confused. But in that perspective. But then again, if we're gonna be talking about periodical history or like times, it's not like she had a choice. Even though she was of a higher class, she still was a woman, so she couldn't really escape that situation. You know what I mean? She did touch on it, on that. She did touch on it on the fact that she said, I have privilege, I can do what I want, but I'm still a woman, and I still have to conform. And from what I have learned from my history classes that I have taken, it was hard for women. And during those times, women didn't really have much to say about lives or their social status or basically anything related that could be of the men's world. So in a way, this is also contradictory as well, because this is based on a periodical time, but it's still sort of like a make-believe, like fictional. And it is fictional because as we go back in time and we talk about it, there is this race going on, social status going on. There is gender rivalry going on. So in a way, this is contradictory. It contradicts this whole time period, and it also contradicts the fiction side of this story. So in a way, if we're talking about some things, I feel like some things do make sense and some things don't. So yeah, that's that for that one. And then the fact that Colin and Penelope's romance blossomed pretty quickly, I think it did a good job on that. Only because starting from season 1, we could already tell that Penelope was into Colin. We could see that Penelope throughout those seasons. You could see her feelings towards Colin, and you see it growing, but then towards the second season, she's upset because Colin told her, well, he didn't told her directly, but he told his friends that he wouldn't be caught courting Penelope. He doesn't want to, sort of in the negative aspect, but that's how it goes. And then yes, I do agree with this YouTuber's opinion on the fact that Colin didn't take responsibility. He doesn't even explain why he said that, and then it just kind of goes pushed aside and nobody speaks about it again. So I do understand that part. That's really confusing, and it's pretty upsetting because they never explained why he said it, but we're just led to believe that, oh, he made a mistake and he didn't really mean it. That was it. But yeah, this YouTuber also mentioned that Colin dislike for Lady Whistledown was very sudden and very out of nowhere. I beg to differ, because if I remember correctly, and she did mention it as well, the second season, Penelope, in order to save Eloise from being shamed or being attacked by the Queen Charlotte, she spoke ill about her, and that made the Queen look away, and not look away, but sort of be like, oh, you know what, that you couldn't have been Lady Whistledown, because why would you write something terrible about yourself? Why would you out yourself? So because of that, Colin did not like Lady Whistledown because of that, because Lady Whistledown wrote badly about Colin's sister, Eloise, and that's why he disliked Lady Whistledown. He did not like her. He resented her, for that matter. So it wasn't like something like, where did he all of a sudden hated her, or where did he all of a sudden not like her? No, it was because of that incident he did not like her, because Lady Whistledown wrote terrible things about his sister. So that's why he did not like her. That's one point. And she did mention it towards the end of the video, which I was sort of like, huh? How did you skip that over? How did you miss that? But I mean, yes. Anyways, okay, so this was another thing that she mentioned. The Benedict story, apparently in the book series, it's Daphne's the first book, second book is Anthony, and the third book is Benedict. and fourth book is Colin and Penelope. But she mentions that season 3 is not Benedict's, it's Colin and Penelope, as obvious as it is. But I think it was a good thing, in my opinion. I believe this was a good thing that they skipped over Benedict. Not because I don't like Benedict, but I feel like there's more to Benedict than Colin and Penelope, if that makes sense. I think there's like a build up for Benedict. I think because they were already showing like clips or previews of like how Benedict's story is becoming, like he was already leaning towards twosomes and threesomes. He was like curious, he was artistically curious, and he was sexually curious. So I really like that they didn't do that, because then I feel like they wouldn't have done a good story for Benedict, because it's building up. If they would have done the third book on the third season, the build up would just literally kind of crash. It would just kind of not get to the climax part. Does that make sense? I feel like because we saw that he was already showing interest in that scene, it would probably been sort of like, how did we get here? Like, we didn't see him explore more. And I think it was a good thing that they let that character explore more, because he's just having like this sort of like curiosity in him, and he's just trying new things, and he's not really attaching himself to these situations. He's just exploring them, and I think that was a good way to build up people's interest in his story. And honestly, that did make me feel like, you know what, I can't wait for Benedict's story. And I'm still thinking about it, whether I should read the book or not, but I kind of want to wait until Benedict's story comes out on the show. But she mentioned that in 2 years season 4 will be coming out. And so, okay, I guess we will wait 2 more years for this. Guys, but I was still in the first season. That's fine. I can wait. So now I'm in the second season, but we'll talk about the ending of the first season. So it was pretty upsetting. Do the most, and the final episode where Mr. Big and Carrie, because he tried so many things, make an official relationship. It's something that I would like to see. On the last episode, finally settle on thing, because I'm pretty sure. He's so everywhere. He's everywhere. He's doing different things, and he's doing these things in a without having anyone notice, with her, and without him, going around saying it. So I think we deserve this. He didn't, so and he just rode off in his car. And in the show, it's just said goodbye to the relationship. And I do remember she did mention as well. Carrie understood that Mr. Big was not one for commitment. How Lord Dublin could have been a good fit for Penelope, so and honestly, the second season. Yes. So I also see it too. I actually do see it too. But here's where because he's so authentic. I just don't like Carrie, genuine. He's very true to himself. I was once Carrie. And if that makes sense. Like if he would have found out, as you see Penelope's true identity in the second season, I feel like it wouldn't have been. I'm not finished with the second season, but I'm close. Well, unlike Colin's reaction, but then again, going on that route, so Lady Wisdom didn't write anything about Lord Dublin, dating, so start doing these things. Yeah, that's why I believe that, but. Who knows? I start seeing her, but I really did like that. Seeing her, he was so kind. He was super sweet. And he was sort of like a teddy bear grand cracker sort of way. I like that. He was very heroic, and he was very. I start very comparing it to how it was with me. Very genuine in my own past relationships. Like I said, I used to do that too. The only thing was that I had a problem was that. Oh wow. Was that she really was only gonna marry him because she thinking that way was in her third year out as the show dating in the dating world, but nobody courted her,
I
so
think
that's why
it's on her
she
birthday. Yeah, it's
took
on
the
her
liking
birthday.
of Lord Dublin.
And guess
only
who
because
sends her
it was
a
almost
gift?
like that was her last choice.
Mr. Big.
But
And I'm kind of like, oh no, that's bad. That's a big no-no.
I don't think that was a good way for her to think that way, because the whole entire time I was sort of like, dang.
She tells her friends, and her friends are telling her, no, don't do it, don't
of her thoughts were.
Don't, like, call him back, don't
I
do
mean,
anything that involves
in a
him
different
again,
world,
ignore the gift, just take it, like,
or Dublin does
ship
get
it
married
back,
to Penelope,
all those things. And so she kind of goes,
but I did like his character a lot. I really would have loved that he got with Cressida.
She does exactly that.
He did
which is a big
speak to her, and they had like good conversations, but they
accepts the call, and
like
he starts
major conversations or anything serious. They were just little conversations.
And she goes, well, I've been good, and then she says, let's go out for a dinner or something like that.
The ending and the reveal of Lady Whistledown
frustrates me because
I was in that situation.
It was
Colin that speaks up for her.
That did happen to me once.
And reveals who Lady Whistledown is.
It's sort of like
and he does it in a way not as a humiliation,
like he sent her
but as in like
how, things were. She accepted
a romantic gesture,
and then she downplays
because he says things like,
get back.
Well, from what I'm quoting what she said, that he says
it's like infuriating
that
because
he loves her no matter what. And he stands by her,
of, like him
through
sending
thick
her
and thin.
flowers.
But in the show,
just
Lady
Whistledown,
Penelope
how she is
reveals herself as Lady Whistledown. As a way of showing that she could do this.
Most everyone has done this.
An independent woman. She's strong enough to do her things, and that she is not scared of these things, because she is now someone different.
Really wants them to go away from their life, and so they
different.
And when they get like this response that goes,
with a different outlook to her. She was no longer this shy, cowering
sort of type of
character. She was now this strong,
walk in there again, and they just
brave woman that is capable of doing things on her own.
Boundaries,
and both of those endings would have been a good one.
And
I think
it sucks because
I think both endings would have been a good one.
After that episode, when she talks to Big,
for me,
she downplays herself
only because they were good. The book version does sound like a good one, but I think her revealing herself was something she needed to do, because this was her character's breakthrough. I feel like this was a good breakthrough for her character. This could have done a bigger impact for herself. This had a bigger impact for herself because she stood up for herself, and she didn't hide behind anyone, and she did ask for Colin to stand by her side.
Sort of like,
I think this was a much better way to do
that makes sense.
The reveal.
In
my perspective,
real commitment is where they put 100, right? They put
the ending of the show. I did not like it. I did not like the ending of this show. I did not like the ending of season 3, where 3, my bad, where she has a baby along with her sisters. I didn't like that. I really wanted her to
just maybe do this much for me, not doing this again, but just give me some of this. And as sad, and it's terrible because you see that I feel like I was seeing myself as she did that, because
and Ashley Simone's character was where they were having fun and enjoying with each other's company,
and just maybe try to
and then on season 2 they revealed that they were expecting. I would have really liked that sort of situation for them, for Colin and Penelope. I feel like it was rushed. I did not like that. I feel like they should have left a little bit, but the whole baby thing
there's some episodes
for her sisters and not Penelope and Colin, because I feel like there could have been so much more for Penelope and Colin right there. I feel like if they just settle down and explore it together and just did things together before expecting a child would have been so much better than just at the end of it, oh look, they have a baby. I feel like that was a little too overbearing. I feel like that was overwhelming. I feel like I just don't like the ending for it. I just do not like it. I feel like they could have waited on that. I feel like they honestly should have waited till season 4. In my case, not my case, but like I just did not like that ending. I feel like it was like too Disney-like of an ending. That's why I did not like it. because it ended with them having a baby, and I did not like that. I have nothing against babies. I just don't like how that ended. Should have stayed with just them exploring the world together, or just enjoying each other's company, because you didn't get to see that as much. Because as I mentioned before, they were chaperoned a lot, and a lot of people were around them so much that there's no moment where they're alone as much. Only the intimate scene, the sex scene, and the what else? Yeah, basically when they're intimate, that was the only time you saw them alone. But it would have been nice to see them like out and about in their estates, horseback riding, or reading together or something. But it was just too much. The ending was too much. Now here's this other thing. I did not think about it until this YouTuber mentioned it. At the end of the show, it's Nicola's voice that is used as the voiceover instead of Julie Andrew. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep Nicola as the narrator from now on, but I really hope they do not. I mean, I love Nicola. I just really adore her. She's so adorable. She's so pretty. But Julie Andrew just gave it gave that element of periodic history. I don't know. Her voice is just one of a kind, and I think it really fit into how this story goes. I really don't think Nicola should take over. I really don't think so. I mean, if they're gonna do that, then okay. I mean, this isn't my show. This isn't my production. But I really do think it'd be better if Julie Andrew continues to be the voiceover, because it just gave that sort of this fancy and this elegant feel to it, in my opinion. So I hope not. I hope they don't change Julie Andrew for Nicola's voiceover. But yeah, that's just my point of view. Lastly, she mentioned something about Colin, where he's talking to Cressida, and he's like sort of looking, not looking, but sounding like how she mentioned it was, nobody else can have like a sob story unless I'm interested in them kind of attitude. I didn't really see it that way. I sort of saw it as he was looking out for those closest to him, and I think that was a good one. Not a good one. How do I say it? I think it was appropriate. I don't know how to say it. I don't think there was a problem with the way he became his new attitude. It almost gives sort of like a Kanye, back in the day when they would say, I wish I had someone who had a Kanye attitude, and what that meant was that Kanye was like mean to others but super sweet to his significant other. That's what that meant. But I don't think there was any disapproval from my side. But again, everybody has their own opinion to it. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention is Cressida. I felt really bad for Cressida. I feel like that ending should have not been for her, because you gain sympathy towards her character, because it's just sad. She desperately wanted to, get out of the situation she was in. She did not want it to be the way she was treated. It was just so awful. Her parents' side, and mostly her dad. It was terrible. And then I just thought to myself, a woman really had no choice back in those days. They had no way of speaking. They couldn't speak up. There was no choices for them. Everything was just chosen for them because they were women. And that's why I was feeling bad for her character. I really wish at least she should have married someone or have gotten the money or given her money and just let her go. That's what I feel like should have happened for her case. But it didn't go that way. It was still sad. But anyways, this is what I wanted to share. It's no bash to the YouTuber who did that review, because she has her opinion, and rightfully so. I cannot say her opinions were wrong. I just got defensive and I wanted to do something to talk about that aspect, like, of what I thought was not in my point of view, how it went down for me. But again, everyone has like a right to make an opinion or comment about it. But like I said, she had read the book, and I have not read the books. I didn't even know there were books about this show. Well, actually, I didn't even know the show was based off these books. So I think her opinions were mostly based off of her comparison to how the book goes to how the show goes. And so, yeah, that's where she kind of has a upper hand than I do, because she actually read the books. I have not. I'm still kind of thinking about it, if I should read the books. I mean, I feel like I should, just to understand the YouTuber's perspective on this. But I kind of want to watch the show first and then read the books to make a comparison. But I think if the YouTuber said it's going to be out in 2 years to season 4, then I should probably get to the reading before season 4 comes out, just to see how Benedict's stories goes. But I kind of don't want to do that because I have so much high hopes, and if I compare it to the books, I feel I might get disappointed. Because if she got disappointed for season 3, imagine how I'm gonna feel for the Benedict story. But let's just see how that goes. Hopefully it's not as disappointing, but we'll see. Maybe next time I come back on here, I'll let you guys know if I read it or not. And if I do, I hope you all join me to watch this show together, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint all of us. And if it doesn't disappoint you guys, that's great. But if it does disappoint me, it's okay, because not everything has to be perfect. We always have to embrace the imperfect. So that's all for tonight, for today. And I'm gonna let you all guys go. Gals and pals. I keep on forgetting to say gals and pals, because here in California we say guys. In southern countries I understand that it's sort of kind of like what the heck. But gals and pals, I'll leave you here with this, and I will see you in my next one for my other review for Sex and the City, that hopefully all of you guys will tune in. So goodbye and good night and good morning to all of you. Good morning, America. Kidding. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoy your day, your night, your morning. Eat whatever you like to eat. Drink as much water. Take your vitamins. Eat vegetables, your fruits, whatever makes you feel happy. Enjoy yourselves and have an amazing time with everything that's going on. No, I'm kidding. Not like that. That sounds awful. But I mean, like, not like awful. Oh, sorry. So I don't know how to end this video. I mean, I do, but peace to all of you guys. Love yourselves, love others, and have a wonderful night and morning and afternoon. Bye, guys.